Salutare, dragilor! Mă aflu în Parcul Natural Putna Vrancea și am avut deosebită plăcere să întâlnesc un om foarte fain aici, pe care s-ar putea mulți dintre voi să-l știți. Noi ne-am cunoscut acum 2 ani de zile la festivalul Lynx de la Brașov și am ținut legătura și iată că ne întâlnim din nou aici în România, unde am reușit să ieșim dimineața la fotografiat într-o zi foarte frumoasă de primăvară. Și aș vrea să-l cunoașteți, cei care nu îl știți, o să-l cunoașteți în minutele care urmează. Dar cu siguranță cei care îl știți o să vă bucurați de această conversație, pentru că o să fie o conversație deschisă despre fotografia de wildlife, despre cum este să te arunci într-o astfel de aventură, cum este să începi o astfel de aventură cu camera foto în mijlocul naturii, care sunt provocările pe care putea să le ai la fotografiat atunci și cum a fost pentru el toată această aventură până acum. Așa că ia-ți un ceai sau ia o bere, un pahar de vin, așează-te confortabil în scaun și hai cu mine într-o discuție foarte interesantă despre fotografia de wildlife cu un om tare, tare fain. Oh yeah, I have the questions here. So.
Yeah. I'll take on the microphone so people can. Oh yeah, that one, not to forget. So, microphone should be on. We can maybe start with the coffee, because
Start with the coffee.
that's always a good start with everything.
And always start with the coffee, of course. Oh, you heard the smell. You heard the smell. It's like you have to hear the smell, not to feel the smell.
Oh, you already filled you up?
Yeah, mine is full. Bottoms up or cheers.
That's good.
That's good. That's good. Okay guys, now I've switched to English because as you can see, my guest for this conversation is a very known photographer. His name is Morten Hilmer. Morten, I'm very glad to have you here for this conversation about wildlife photography. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And welcome to Romania.
Thank you. It's a wonderful country.
How's Romania for you so far?
It's amazing.
You've been here for
3 weeks now.
3 weeks in the wilderness.
Yeah, and it's just amazing.
Have you had enough?
No, no. I kind of knew that when I was here 2 years ago to the amazing Lynx festival.
Mm-hmm.
I was just driving from Bucharest to Brașov, and I looked out the window of the car.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was already getting dark. You picked me up.
I remember that.
And I thought, okay, I need to see this country more. And then I saw the films from Romania.
From Romania, yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this must be paradise on earth. And now I'm lucky to know you and Dan and the great team, and have made it possible for me to come here and been really great hosts. And yeah, I love Romania, and I will come back. Yeah,
Whoa.
definitely.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Imagine that. We are very happy to have you here, and you have such a big inspiration for everybody, especially for the wildlife community in Romania, because I'm sure it's not a small community. It's getting bigger because more and more people start into wildlife photography.
Yeah.
Because, I've been journeying myself wildlife photography for the last couple of years, like for the last 3 years, And many people that start wildlife photography, most of them, so far as I can see, they started from landscapes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, look what landscape, beautiful landscape we have behind us.
It's a natural upgrade.
It's a natural upgrade.
No offense.
Yeah. But the thing is
I
that...
did not say that.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that. We promise we're not gonna cut anything. So excuse our stupid things that we might say. But you know that, so far as I can see, people, you know, they go out and start shooting nature and a little bit of landscape, a little bit of flowers, insects and everything. And it's impossible for you to don't be curious about the wildlife that lives here, the animals, the birds, because you see them everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's natural translation, let's say, from being just a landscape photographer to wildlife photographer. Of course, not everybody's doing this transition. But you know, it's I see that this is a common thing.
Well, maybe also because, Eddie, you know, when I think most nature photographers, to use that term, is picking up the camera because they maybe feel inspired by being in nature and they feel something when they are in nature.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to photograph a bird, but you know, with the lenses and the camera, it's expensive. It's also very difficult. There's a lot of things you have to learn.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying landscape photography is easy, because it's not. I'm a terrible landscape photographer, but it's just cheaper and easier to get started with the equipment, with the locations. I mean, and then of course, probably when you're out photographing the landscapes, you maybe see these birds and you get curious and, you know, take different routes. Yeah.
Speaking about beginnering, how was your beginning? Do you remember?
Yeah.
How you started wildlife photography?
Yeah, I remember. Actually, in the beginning, photography and nature was separate for me, because I grew up in the countryside on a farm, and I always played in the forest and looked for the foxes and looked for the birds and made small dams in the little river and stuff. And then at some point I picked up a little camera just to, you know, I lent a camera and I photographed maybe just the dog and things around and everything, basically, because I was interested in that. I thought it was exciting.
A camera on film, probably.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, film. Yeah. And you know, you went to the store and get them developed, and you looked at the little pictures, and it was very nice.
How many years was ago?
I was 14, so that's like a decade ago.
Oh.
No, that was I was 14 when I picked up the camera. And then in the beginning, I photographed horses. My friends were doing horse riding, and I photographed that. And then, you know, I started to be curious about nature, and I got the first lens with a little bit of zoom. And then I photographed the woodpecker and sat in the forest and waiting.
What was the first lens that you used?
That was the first wildlife kit I had was like an old Olympus manual focus.
Oh, wow.
But then I saved up money. I brought out newspapers and stuff and saved money. Yeah, and then I bought a used Nikon F90X with a Sigma 7300. 4.5 to 5.6 or something like that. And I was in heaven. And then I could photograph the woodpecker and then the red foxes and then
interesting.
Then it took off from there.
You know, I remember that my first wildlife photography was a woodpecker too.
Yeah. It's just they're so nice.
Yeah, I just remember that.
Yeah.
You know, I just remember that, seriously. I started to photograph in 2014. Like nature, and somewhere like 2017, 16, 2016 I started wildlife photography, and then I did the very first picture of a woodpecker. Somebody just borrowed me a 300 2.8.
Yeah,
I was photographing with that. So you said that the first photograph that you took was the woodpecker. But do you remember what was the first picture that you ever took that made you feel like, man, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, foxes.
Foxes.
Red foxes.
Do you remember the very first moment that you took?
Yeah, I remember, I was still in school and struggling with the usual things. You know, you're about to leave school and you're always asked every time you go to a birthday or something, you sit with some grown-up people and they ask you, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I was like, yeah, I would really like to do something with nature. And I was like so passionate about fishing, outdoor, and photography, nature photography. And I remember I was sneaking around with my 300 millimeter lens and the camouflage clothes. And one morning I found a den with fresh tracks from the fox, the little for the baby, the cubs.
Yeah.
And so it was summer holiday from the school. So next morning I got up really early when it was still dark. I went out there, lied on my stomach, and waiting, nothing happened, I fell asleep, waking up, fell asleep, and then suddenly they were playing in the morning light, and they were getting very close to me, and I still remember the feeling of like a mixture of excitement, of like every time I clicked, I had to look the picture because I couldn't believe that I had that picture now of this moment. And then the other feeling in me was like what a privilege to. I felt like I'm not a visitor now. I'm like a part of this setup because they were basically all around me. And I felt like it was like such an intense moment for me, and I think that was when I got really hooked and knew I wanted to work with that. Yeah.
That's a very beautiful story with the foxes. I know that you like foxes a lot.
Yeah.
We even counted one last
Yeah. Yesterday evening.
Yeah, yesterday evening.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Yeah.
So you know that every beginner that starts in wildlife photography is inevitably facing, difficulties, things like that, and people. I don't know. Somebody is, let's say, scaring animals. Somebody cannot find animals.
Yeah.
What were your struggles in the beginning? Do you remember?
To be honest, I did not have struggles, and it's just because at that time when I started photography, there were no internet.
Okay.
There was a photo community, but that was only like 3 or 4 years later I started that. So it was only me and my passion. There were no way to, like, I could show my the pictures to my family, but that was it. So they were, and I could buy books on the library, or like I could look in books in the library of wildlife, but I was not exposed with like this is how it should look. I was not exposed with like, look, I got a photo of a fox, but oh, this is much better. I thought to myself, these photos are like, I was so happy with the result. So I think for me, I did not have the struggles when I started out, because it was pure joy. It was, I think the images were amazing. I was proud of them. They reminded me of they were good memories for me. And when I printed them out, some of them I paid for getting that size, 20, 30 centimeters. And I was just like, whoa, what a moment. And I want more of that. I don't remember any struggles when I just started out. It was only when I, wanted to turn it into a profession as the struggle started. But
Okay. So you said you had struggles when you actually wanted to go into the profession.
Yeah.
There were struggles regarding the techniques of wildlife photography, or just getting into the business.
Yeah, it was like that. It was more like, how do you take something and that is what you love to do, but how do you start to make money on it? How do we make a living of it? That was a little more struggle. I think it was because I didn't have any, like, what you can call it, a deadline. I didn't have any deadline for learning. So it was just, of course I had little things like, what is I remember these things like, what exactly is the aperture and the shutter speed, and how does that work? And I went to the library to pick the beginner's books, and I read, okay, this is the aperture. So I learned very slow in a nice pace. There were not instructional videos. There were not any kind of that. So And then later, when I joined that photo community, you know, we meet maybe twice a year. I was fortunate to also get. I had a friend that I still photograph with, and he was much more routine than me. So sometimes he could give me some inspiration with something.
Yeah.
So, but I don't remember a struggle, just a curiosity.
Okay.
It was a natural, like just every day you become a little better.
Yeah.
And it was also have to for the people listening, you know. At that time, you took the photos, and then you came home and they were maybe too dark or not sharp, but you could not remember the settings because it was not digital. It was a roll of film.
Yeah.
So what I did when I had to learn was like I went to a flower and I tried with a different aperture and I wrote down picture 1, aperture, shutter speed, picture 2, aperture, shutter speed, and the light direction. And then I looked at the little image when I start to shoot the Diaz Velvia, Fuji Velvia. I looked at my note and learned that way. So it was slow learning.
Slow learning.
Yeah. And when you learn something slow and it's fun, you just, I don't think you experience the same struggles as if you want to be good in a hurry.
That's a very interesting point, you know, that you pointed there, because when I'm looking at the students with which I'm working, or the people that come at me and ask me different questions, you know, about the techniques, the settings, and everything. The struggles that most beginners have in the wildlife photography are are in this area of settings. People are getting too much into the technical world. And this is one thing. And the second one, they have no idea how to deal with animals, how to get close. They scare them and things like that. And these are the most common. You know, everybody that comes and tells about their struggles, everybody is going to tell you this type of struggle. And I was always wondering why it's like that. And I was listening to you saying what you said earlier about the subject, and I found myself there too, because at the beginning, when I was a beginner in wildlife photography, there was no, how to say, exactly like you said, there was no deadline.
No.
I mean, I was very curious and very interested about learning about nature, and I was using the camera just to document what I was about to see.
Yeah.
But what I was learning more is learning things about myself.
Yeah.
And about nature too, rather than just being obsessed with the settings and everything like that, you know. So, coming back to the struggleness, let's say.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered the moment when you wanted to photograph an animal, and it didn't go quite well since the first try, not even the second try, not even the third try? You know how it is in wildlife world. And I'm sure, I mean, this is kind of a rhetoric question to ask a wildlife photographer, but if this moment happened to you, have you, what you done to keep going, to just continue to pursue that result? I mean, for example, I want to photograph the Lynx.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it once, twice, and I already reached the 10th time I'm trying, and I still don't get it.
Yeah.
What motivates you to go on and keep going and keep dreaming for that image? Did you ever had such a goal, let's say?
Yeah, I
did it.
Did with the foxes. I had with the Arctic wolf, of course with polar bears in Greenland and stuff like that. Arctic fox, and it's not like a obsession. It's more like a wish. It's more like a careful wish.
Okay.
I think it's not that I'm like an athlete that is like I want to reach my goal. I'm not like that as a person.
It's not like you check.
No, I'm not like that.
Things like.
To be honest, I would love to photograph the lynx, but I'm just as happy if I'm like I would rather photograph the fox in beautiful light, capturing like a great mood, that when I look at the photos I feel something, that I would capture the lynx standing on a cliff in hard daylight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, for me, it's not so much about capturing rare species and show the world that, oh, I got that rare spider or lynx or something. It's more like capturing the mood.
The mood,
Yeah.
The emotion.
Like,
the emotion of the moment.
it's more like, yeah, chasing moods, chasing the. We have talked about when we walked photographing that, you know, that feeling of being out the first day in spring.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the hardest thing for me. That's the thing I struggle the most with in my photography because, of course, there can be things with the camera, the techniques, but it's pretty much like always a matter of, you know, first when you pick up the camera, you're like, look at your photos and you ask yourself, are they sharp, are they not sharp?
Yeah.
But that's no longer trouble because you have the advanced autofocus system. So most of the times your images are sharp. Then you come to like, maybe they're not sharp and you realize, oh, there's also something, except from autofocus, there's also the shutter speed. There's also the movement of the animal. There's the movement of the camera, you know, these kind of things. But once you nail that and you know, I'm able to, as long as there's light enough, I'm always able to get a sharp photo. Then I feel like your mind is moving to the next level. And that is not to just capture a sharp image of a bird or a mammal, but to capture a sharp image of a bird and a mammal in a nice lit scenario. And then after that, you maybe go to like, now there has to be like a wonderful background also. You don't want to photograph a bird from upside down. And then you like go on and on. At least that's my journey. And then at some point you're like, it's not enough that the image is sharp, eye level, beautiful lit, beautiful background. There has to be, for me to be excited about a photograph of my own, there has to be a sense of mood, emotion, something in the photo.
The story of the photo.
And for me, it's rarely action. It's more like stillness, silence, solitude. That you feel something with the animal. It's hard to explain, but it's just to illustrate that you kind of you might have struggles, but the struggles will change. So some of your students that are now struggling with the techniques, when they nail that, there'll come a new one. But that's the beauty of it, because it's I don't see it as a struggle. It's more, that's the whole thing.
It's a challenging thing.
Yeah, that's
like you guys have to take it as a challenge.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I've always thought about, you know, it's like this journey is like climbing a mountain with multiple cliffs.
Yeah.
So you see the first cliff, which is let's say the sharpness of the photo. I want to learn how to do very sharp photos. I promise you, eventually you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
You know,
the camera will do it for you.
The camera will do it for you. I mean, look at all those.
Just put it to the green square and that'll be sharp.
And after that, it comes a moment of stagnation, because you say, okay, I do sharp image. What's next?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was looking over my images when I started to learn those techniques that helped me to do sharp photos, and I was looking over the images, and they were like documentary images. Like, look, the crow looks like this, the gray heron looks like this, but it was no background, no light, no composition, nothing. It was just a documentary picture, which was sharp enough, or even very sharp. And I was then thinking about, okay, but what's next?
Yeah.
And I remember a small story about a friend of mine that was looking over my pictures on my phone. I usually keep on my phone the pictures that I love so much. I keep them just to show to my mom, to my friends, not to brag about them, but just look what nice things I've seen in nature last weekend trip that I took. Yeah. Things like that. And he was looking over the pictures and he was like sliding, you know, like, nice. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. Oh, look at this one. Where you took this one? Yeah. Wow. And then he was going like, next. And I was wondering, why did he stop at one picture and said, wow, look at this one? Yeah. And why did he was just sliding, you know?
But that's different, you know, from person to person. Like, I don't know what they like.
Yeah, exactly. But I was asking the person the exactly this thing. Why did you stop at that? What did you feel? Well, look, he didn't know how to express what he was feeling, but he was saying that, I don't know, it was a picture of a squawk heron, that yellow bird. Yeah. The yellow heron, the little one. And he said that something like, I don't know, this bird is kind of giving me the feeling of freedom, you know, like the picture was with the heron like in flight. Yeah. Exactly when it took off with the wings spread up high, beautiful background, beautiful lighting, beautiful details. But it was about the emotion that the picture was transmitting, you know, versus another picture with other such hair on, like just sitting there and look like that, like boring.
Yeah.
So people, I think, should understand that this sharpness struggle, it's absolutely normal. It's exactly like when you try to learn how to drive a car.
Yeah.
You remember when you first took your driver license, you were looking under the steering wheel to see where the pedals are.
Yeah.
Right, pressing the wrong pedal.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing now, you know. But what happens next? What's the next thing? You know, I think it's about learn how to tell the stories.
Yeah.
And like you said, the mood. Search for a mood. That
I think it's difficult to find a formula, because I think
it's not. There's
every person has their own reason why they photograph. For some, it's maybe the little breathing hole from a busy everyday life. For other people, it's like a mixture of the techniques, the equipment, like the new lens, in combination with achieving the result they get from this equipment. Like, you know, like a engineer/art relationship to the thing. For other people, again, it might be for winning competitions. And I think people have so many different motivations for getting up early in the morning and going out with the camera. And to go back to your question, like you ask what keeps me going and going, I don't keep going. Like, it's not that I am locked on target. It's not that I want the lynx. I came here and I hoped that I was lucky enough to see the lynx or the bear or the wolf. And I had a glimpse of a bear. Didn't see the lynx. I didn't see the bear. But
you have a glimpse on it. We saw it a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, if I should go hardcore for the lynx, I should just stay a lot of time in blind here, and then I know I will eventually get the lynx. But it's not that high on my there's nothing that is high on my list. It's more like I have it in mind that I would like to photograph the lynx, but what does nature decide to reveal for me when I'm there? So you can write a book saying, like, while waiting for the lynx, and there could be zero picture of the lynx, but and everyone will be waiting for the final image of the lynx, and they do like this because they look for the lynx, and then there's no lynx. You know, that feeling of ending the book and it's like, but there was no lynx. That'll be the same feeling I had if I was so determined to get it. So I always say to myself, imagine I'm making the book titled Chasing the Lynx. I have to remember to pay attention to all pages in the book, because I might end up not seeing the lynx. So that's what have been doing here. Photograph the little deeper, the little birds. There were no birds in the forest in the blind, but you know, so I'm not so like now I want this, now I want this. More like I want everything just as it comes to me. That's very nice. It's a very nice approach, actually, you know, to taste a little bit from everything, you know, to see what nature brings you. What do you think the role of patience is in wildlife photography? I often hear people say, it's very nice, it's very interesting, but I don't have patience. You really need a lot of patience. No, but I don't have patience.
But you had patience to stay for hours in a blind waiting for.
Yeah, but I don't feel it's patience. It's more like, you know, it's more like accepting the fact that.
The raven.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Mr. Raven.
I love that bird.
Oh, there's another one.
Where are you going?
They're brothers.
Yeah. They do not pay much attention to us.
Yeah.
Why should they?
Yeah, they do their own business. All right, so we were talking about patience.
Like, it's again, define patience is because if you, like, when you sit in the blind, there's, like, patience for me is if you just sit and look like this and wait, and the only thing you're waiting for is that lynx to come. But I was not like that. I was waiting for anything to come. Like, I didn't care what bird, or of course I would love the lynx or the wolf or something, but I was waiting for everything there. And maybe it's also a matter of being. It's a balance between you can be patient and then just sit and wait, or you cannot be patient and you can just be very stubborn and say, I'm not leaving before it's dark, you know, and then it's your stubbornness that keeps you sitting there.
Yeah.
But for me, I always have this, when I go to the forest at home, waiting for the fox, I maybe sit there an entire morning and I see nothing. And then eventually, especially if I've been out doing lectures and stuff and I'm busy and there's a lot of going on with emails and contracts and stuff, then when I come out there, it's like, poof.
Yeah.
And then I feel very fast, like restless. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I want to be on the phone to check something, mind is going everywhere. But then I sit and think, oh, this maybe not so good light. Maybe I just go home. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then I try to do the exercise. I think like, but why? Like what do you want to do at home? Like just sit on the couch or look your photos. Yeah. Like where would you, if you could choose anything right now in this moment, where would you rather be? Mm-hmm. Like on your phone at home, or in the car somewhere, or visiting a friend, or sitting here in the sun with a cup of coffee, surrounded by singing birds. Like this is awesome. Yeah. I couldn't find a better place, so just stay. And I think that's, for me, it's a good exercise, because after a few days, or at least after a few hours, my mind changes and I'm not so restless anymore. Mm-hmm. And I feel more connected with what I'm actually doing, and accepting, my brain is slowly accepting that it does not need a lot of feedback all the time. It does not need a lot of stimuli all the time. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It does not need to, phones, things, call, drive, make appointments. Yeah. It's okay just to calm down and be present.
I will give a small input here about this idea of having patience, in photography, in wildlife photography. I think that my opinion is that that patience comes when you have a purpose. I mean, if you have a purpose, like let's say you wanted to make a photograph of a certain animal, or I don't know, if you have your own small project, like making some sort of album documenting a bird or something like that. In the moment when you finally get the bird, you feel that reward feeling. Yeah. That everything pays off. Yeah. And it's enough to do it once to feel that happiness that you finally got your animal photographed on your memory card. That makes you understand that patience is kind of coming by natural. Yeah. While you're doing it, because it's going to happen sometime, but you don't know when. Yeah. So it's actually enjoying the process rather than just chasing the result. And if you enjoy the process, this patience should come naturally, because I mean, look, we were talking about lynxes. Yeah. So I put myself in this idea that, let's say purpose. I want to photograph the lynx. I don't know. I know that the lynx is a very shy animal. I mean, you cannot see it every day on the street. So you have to if you understand this thing about the behavior of the animal, that the animal is very kind of a avoiding animal, and if you understand this about this behavior, you limit your expectations, that you might find it very fast. So then this idea of being patient kind of comes naturally, because it's not going to come very fast. Yeah. So this patient thing should come natural as you evolve as a photographer. Yeah, but maybe you should also just, because patient is like, if you say the word patient, it's like there's a goal. Like you're sitting there because of a goal, and you need patience. But for me, I prefer not to use the word, just because it's like saying that it's the destination. Yeah. It's not the travel. It's not the travel. And for me, I feel it's more important for me to, like, if I sit here where we sit now and wait for the fox to come. She will come. If I can enjoy sitting here, being present, then I don't need to be patient. Exactly. Only if I think, I'm sitting here because I want the fox. You know the difference? Yeah. Then I need to be patient, because it's useless to sit here. I just want the fox, and then I can go. Yeah. But on the other hand, if you
enjoy the journey rather than just thinking of the destination. You'll be grateful for sitting here, have the option to sit here in the forest and listening to everything.
And not stuck in a red light in the middle of the city.
Exactly. And then if nature decides to reveal itself to you,
Yeah.
it's a bonus.
Yeah.
And then if you
absolutely.
sit there after you see the fox, then I feel it has nothing to do with patience. Then it's just enjoying, you know what I mean?
Enjoying the present,
Yeah,
enjoying the moment, enjoying
exactly.
the journey.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then eventually
yeah.
you will get some photos of something.
Yeah.
But it's also because I'm not like a photographer that are on an assignment to photograph a fox.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm not a filmmaker getting paid for waiting for the polar bear coming out from the den, because they need patience, because they need that exact shot.
Yeah.
I can do with everything I get.
Yeah.
It can be a bird, it can be a fox, it can be a beautiful landscape. So I don't think patience is that important for me, but yeah, I have to admit it was a little bit necessary in the Lynx blind, because it was freezing cold.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really hard to just enjoy the moment, because you were just like getting cold, you couldn't stretch your legs, things like that.
Yeah.
But of course, as you say, your brain will learn from the rewards it gets, and then you automatically get more patience. So I
Yeah.
guess,
Cool.
yeah.
So I want to go to a more specific question.
Yeah.
What should a beginner focus on first? Camera settings, composition, or animal behavior? What's your opinion about that? A little bit of each. That's a tough one.
I think
That's a
no. I
tough
think I think the beginner should focus on, first of all, just get out there with the camera they have. Don't think about another lens, another camera. Get the basics. I mean, watch 2 videos and go out and practice with just the basic stuff. Don't go into the menu and think about the different tracking ability of the camera. Just get out there, get some good experience, because then you will meet your limits. Rather than trying to learn the entire menu and autofocus system on a new camera before you feel ready, because then you like prepare yourself. So now I'm ready, and you go out there, and then what's now? There's no animals.
What's now, yeah.
And on the other hand, if you focus a lot on the animal behavior and you come out there, I think it goes hand in hand. If you just, every time you have the moment to get out in nature, do it. And then when you reach your limit, of course, you can argue that it's pretty annoying to meet the Lynx and then you don't know the settings.
Yeah.
But it's also really annoying to spend half a year learning the settings and then
And then
realizing
go out.
that
Yeah.
I want to photograph something else. So, it's a good balance. You can go out in nature during the day, learn about the animal behavior, learn about locations, talk to other photographers, and then you can sit on a windy, rainy, dark day, and with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or a beer, and then you can learn about the things. So I think it, at least for me, it was a nice balance of just coming together.
Yeah.
Like hand in hand.
Yeah. And especially I like the idea from learning from mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to go out there and lose a shot.
Yeah.
You have to be there face to face with a lynx.
Yeah.
And focus on the tree behind the lynx.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you don't have to do that, of course, but
Yeah, I know.
the
I see
idea
what
is
you
that
get.
it's okay to do mistakes, because from mistakes we learn.
And that's
people-
the best motivation.
Absolutely. And people are very obsessed with learning settings. It's like I have to prepare myself
Yeah.
for the big encounter with the lynx or
Yeah.
whatever animal you like.
Yeah.
You know. But I think that people should, like exactly like you said, just grab a camera
Yeah.
and learn on the go.
Yeah.
Practice. And then if something doesn't work,
Yeah.
if you focused on the branch behind the lynx and not on the lynx eye,
Yeah.
think about, okay, why that happened and
Yeah.
what I have to do to don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And then you learn.
Yeah.
But until you don't encounter that, just use it how you...
And also, if people are, I get quite a few questions about my custom settings on the camera, but I don't think it's that relevant, because the way I have different custom settings depending on what I photograph. And I even have, things like, sometimes I use the AF on Sometimes I use the trigger autofocus, like depending on what I photograph. So it doesn't make sense for me to say what I use, but what I think is the more time people spend with the cameras in their hand, and rather than just learning some custom settings from some kind of video or instruction, and they copy them to their own camera and say, now I use the same as this guy use. It, for me, just to take that as an example, my custom settings, my layout continuously develop itself, because I find myself in situation where, just as you said, I'm missing a shot because suddenly I use the manual focus because it's too dark, it's behind some bushes, but I have to zoom in to check if it's sharp, and the zoom button is here and I lose the grip, and I realize I need the zoom button on the video recording button. And then, I realize maybe half a year later that it's too slow to zoom in and check because the animal is gone. So I realize, I need focus peaking where I can reach it. So that's just my use. But if people are using the same setting for flying birds, it's a waste of 2 buttons, because first of all, you don't have the time to zoom in on a flying bird, and second, you don't have the time to do manual focus with peaking. So I think it's very, very good. It's very easy for us to say, just take your camera and go out and make some photos, if people don't know how the thing works. So of course you need you need the basics. You need the foundation, that you can build on. And when that is done, get out and get some experience and learn. Think of your camera
as a tool,
as a piano.
Piano. Okay.
Just to use an analogy, because you watch a video, you read the instruction manual, and you become an expert in all the buttons. That is like a person learning all the chords for a piano. And you can read the note and you can press that. You can read that and you can press that. And that means you can play the notes, but you do it so slow and so insecure that you're not able to play music. And I see it's the same with the camera. It's like it has to be a piano. You have to know the buttons, the layout. Your fingers have to work with muscle memory
without you looking at the buttons.
Because that gives you the freedom to forget the camera and just take it up to your eyes, while your hands are automatically turning on, switching to auto ISO.
So the camera is actually an extension of your intentions.
Exactly. And I think that can come very quick if you use the camera a lot, and you get very familiar with a lot of the buttons, and then you start. Your hands are different than mine. We have different custom settings, but then you sit and figure out, I need this button to do that, I need that, and suddenly you create your own piano, and the more you use it, suddenly you can play music, and you just look at the bird and there it is.
That's a very nice analogy with the piano. Speaking about...
You're welcome to use it.
Oh yeah. I've been customizing the camera pretty often lately, because I'm trying to change the custom buttons, doing things. And, actually I even change some custom buttons depending on what the subject if I want to, this season I want to concentrate only on birds, I might assign some special functions which are better for birds in flight photography rather than mammals. So this thing always evolves. But speaking about questions, I have one which is very specific.
Come on, ask.
I
wonder what that is.
So I've been asking. I mean, there was a debate. I have a Facebook community lately, and people were talking there about this big monster which is called the ISO, or the noise caused by the ISO. So I saw that more and more people say that, I don't fear the ISO anymore, because the latest cameras can handle that very well. So if I get a picture that has a lot of noise, I can rely totally on the noise softwares, like that one from the Lightroom, or DxO Mark, or I don't know, Topaz or whatever. So I'm curious about your opinion here, because people are saying more and more often that they rely on those denoise softwares because those softwares can recover the quality lost already because you've done a shot with a high ISO.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It makes sense.
It makes totally sense. Like first, I'll answer some of the question, and then I'll give my own opinion on what I do. Like, yeah, you can use denoise software. Like you could take a unsharp photo with a very little color information because the ISO gets high, and you can basically prompt AI to recreate the photo. But it's not the photo. It's artificial colors that has put on the photo. So it's not a photo. It's a painting.
It's
right?
a painting.
Yeah. So AI adds something to the photo that was not captured, because if you take two images of a subject, one on the native ISO, let's say 100, and one on ISO, just take it to the extreme, 50,000.
Yeah.
You'll get useful photos, but regardless of how much denoise you use, you will lose a lot of the color information, the gradients of the color, and to get the same image as a ISO 100, let's say, you'll have to add colors, you'll have to create something that was not captured. And I'm not saying that is wrong, I'm just saying ISO play an important factor, because if you want to capture as many details as you can, the fine color gradients, maybe in a sky, you need to have your ISO very low. That said, I'm not afraid of ISO. Of course, I always aim as getting as low ISO as possible. You remember yesterday with the fox?
Yeah.
I was photographing with a 400mm 2.8, a 40 of a second, ISO 5000.
Just to keep the ISO down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I knew I'm never using denoise software. Never. And that is probably because I'm from the film time.
Yeah.
When I have a clear day with a lot of light, I love the brilliant colors I get from the Little Dipper. I see every little detail. I see how the black, the feathers, I see the nuances in the feather. That is what I get when I have good light.
Yeah.
When I don't have good light, I don't have good light for my eyes either. And it's like, I'm not trying to take the photo of the fox. You asked me yesterday, are you going to denoise it? I said, no, I will leave it. I remove the chroma noise.
Yeah.
Because they're created by the sensor, the ugly red magenta things.
Yeah.
But I leave the noise there. And I'm not using any software to try to recreate the beautiful red color of the fox, just because I truly, like, if I do that, I get a nice photo of a fox. But if I leave it as it is, when I print it and hang it on my wall, I recall the moment, and the noise I get. There's also different. The noise we have today are much more, grainy, organic than the digital noise we had like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
So I actually like the noise. So for me personally, I don't use the denoise software. I use the chroma noise, and I let the noise be noise. But I always try to keep the noise as low as possible, unless I want to use the noise for an expression. Like it could be
to tell the mood.
Birch trees in heavy snow. I could crank my ISO to 12,800 there to create that noisy image. And people will argue, but why don't you capture at ISO 200 and add the noise afterwards? Just because I truly love that the image that comes out of my camera is what I captured.
Yeah.
But that's a personal thing. It's not that I say anything is better than other. It's just my personal.
Yeah. The idea was that it's, for the sake of getting sharp images, because the idea was that, the belief was that I can use the some AI
Definitely.
software
Yeah.
and bring back the original sharpness. You're
Yeah.
never going to bring back the original sharpness, actually. You could, like you said, like you can invent pixels
Yeah.
that could reproduce what would have been there in the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
But I share the same opinion. I mean, I personally use denoise software,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm not using it all the time.
No.
Or I tend to shoot, to photograph only in the light conditions that I would like to obtain an image where I
Yeah.
don't have the need to use the denoise software.
Yeah.
So I rather choose to photograph in a good light. you know.
Definitely.
But you know, this.
But it's
this
nice
thing,
we have it. It's nice
Yeah.
we have the tool.
Yeah,
And I would
yeah.
every day I would say, like, if we take image editing, you know, many of my photographs on YouTube, they're really not anything special compared to what you see on Instagram.
Yeah.
But if you look at my images there and you see the raw photo, they're very similar. Now I don't do a whole lot of editing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
my approach to editing and denoise software and sharpening and all that stuff is to recreate what I saw when I was there, and not to
Yeah.
capture a genetic image and then recreate the mood in the software
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
light rays and all kind of fancy LUTs and stuff like that. I just basically try to, and I just want to say, if people capture a bird and it's really grainy and they remembered, like, I want this to be sharp and clean, use the software, it's there.
Yeah.
I have nothing against it, it's just my personal.
Yeah, yeah. We've been talking pretty technical in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah.
And I hope we weren't getting too technical into the subject. But there was one more question that I promised my students that I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
What about pre-capture? Do you use pre-capture?
What is that?
You don't know the pre-capture?
Oh, where you press and then you capture.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't use it because, as far as I know, on the Z9, it's the pre-capture only works in the JPEG.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have tried to use it with a sparrowhawk attacking birds and stuff, and it's an awesome thing. And I will definitely use it when I'll definitely use it once I reckon that soon it will be there in RAW. I mean, why not? I would use it then, because too many times I've seen the things that the moment I want to capture, but just because
You're too
my
late.
brain is too slow,
Yeah.
the signal from my eyes to my brain to my hand are obviously just incredible slow.
Yeah.
So very often I get like the bird flying out, or you know.
we all get that.
Yeah, so that is one thing it has been in the film world for many years. You know, the pre-record for 8 or 5 seconds, so so I think it's very nice for that.
But what about this perspective? Some people say, and I kind of share this opinion. I don't know. It's just my opinion, and I saw that some people share it too. It's about the thing that using pre-capture function on your camera will eventually produce you a very high quality image of a bird just taking off, or
Yeah.
you know. But in reality, you didn't press the shutter exactly when the bird took off. You press the shutter before, like not press the
After.
shutter after. But you kind of focused before the camera started to shoot, and then you just select something that the camera already captured. But the thing is that picture that the camera took, actually, you actually didn't took it yourself. The camera took it for you. So there's a debate here that, you know, I rather synchronize myself or force myself to do to press the shutter exactly in the perfect moment.
Yeah.
Because the resulting picture will give me a different feeling rather than just picking the perfect picture that the camera took.
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting with it?
Yeah, but I do not share the opinion, because that it would, in my opinion, it will be the same as saying, like, I don't use autofocus because it's not me focusing. It's the camera computer focusing.
Yeah.
Or I don't use the exposure meter because it's not me measuring the light, it's the
makes
camera's
sense.
computer. So for me, it's not about. I remember that this debate when autofocus was there. Like it's like cheating, because you have to be. People had spent a lifetime being good at focus pulling or something, and suddenly these new photographers came with a camera with autofocus, and then it's like then came the bird tracking, and people were like, but this is cheating because the camera is focusing on the bird. In my opinion, photography is not a challenge. It's not a craft that you have to do it this way. I mean, we are not shooting films anymore. We're shooting digital with a high dynamic range. We have the most advanced autofocus system, and very soon the autofocus will like tell you it's a buzzard, it's an eagle, you know, and it will be better and better. And at some point, you know, we already have the what is called the auto capture, where you can set your camera up like a camera trap, and it will. So you can always argue that it's photography is becoming too easy. But I would say this: if you still, like, for me, it's not like a competition is who can press fastest or who has the best autofocus. It's more like, am I able to capture what I just saw there that gave me goosebumps? And I will use all the techniques and technology that are available to me, as long as it does not hurt the subject in any way. I would use pre-capture, I would use autofocus, I would use everything, just because, you know, I'm not there to prove that I'm fast enough. I'm there to capture the moment and the beauty of nature when something happens, and in the perfect world to be able to share it with other people so they can see, look how amazing that moment was. So I don't think I don't think so much about the theory,
the technology.
I think more about ethics. I think more about wildlife than I think about how I use the camera. It's just a tool after all. And I press all the buttons that are available.
Me too. We're gonna come to the subject of ethics in wildlife photography very soon. But there was one more question I wanted to ask about gear. And this is the last technical question. Actually, it's not a technical question. Do you really believe that you need a very expensive gear to shoot wildlife?
No, I mean,
do you think people need these things to shoot wildlife? Just to enjoy it?
It all depends. I mean, I know people say it's not about the equipment, but it is about the equipment. Well, like not your. I mean, you have. I mean, it depends on what your goals are. Like I could make perfectly fine photos of the foxes with my F90X with a Sigma 70 to 300. I was so happy with these photos, and when I blow them up on the wall, they're just as sharp and fine as I could wish for. But the moment the equipment matters is that, of course, if you have like an entry-level DSLR and you compare it to a flagship camera, you will have a better autofocus system. You will have more frames per second. So you don't need it, but it's just easier.
It's
because
easier,
you have more advanced technology. You have more. You have a better tool available.
So you don't actually really need the professional glass, the professional bodies to shoot wildlife.
But it just lets you, if you want to photograph badgers. I mean, it's really hard with a small sensor camera with a terrible high ISO performance and some 400 millimeter 6.3 because when the badger comes out, it's game over for your camera. So of course, if you do not need expensive equipment to enjoy wildlife photography at all, you know, you can do it's just about, you just have to accept that there are limits. And then by spending 10 times as much on a lens, you can maybe photograph 1 hour later in the evening. But for something's sake, then just keep away from the badgers in the evening. Do something else. So I mean,
do birds in the middle of the day or something.
It's a terrible excuse if you say to yourself, no, I don't want to go out before I have the big lens and the big camera.
Yeah.
Use whatever you have. It's all about finding find what's possible and don't look what's not possible. And then one day maybe if the passion grows, you maybe decide to buy a lens rather than a new car, and then you can photograph the badgers in the evening. I mean, so it's.
That's a good approach. Morten, what do you think about planning? It's important to plan. Before you go to a shootout.
It's extremely important to plan.
I mean, I see that many people are just shooting by chance. Today is.
It's the same with me.
Saturday, I'm just going whatever I. But you know, there's a difference between doing this at your level and doing the same thing at the very beginning level. So my theory here was that I think it's crucial to plan.
It is crucial to plan, but I'm just, you know me already a little bit, I'm terrible at planning. I'm terrible at organizing things. I'm really, that's one of the things if I could choose, you know, on the top shelf of things I should be better at, would be organizing and be organized and plan.
Like right click, sort by title.
I'm terrible at that. But at the same time, I just think I benefit a little from being in the game for many years. But planning is good. It is good. I wish I was better at it, but I'm not. But I plan in my own way, I guess. I have a lot of thoughts about it, but I'm not structured.
Planning shouldn't be like it shouldn't be like a formula. You have to do this. I mean, you know, there are a couple of things you should do, and you can choose. You know, for example, I don't know, the pathway of the light through a place. If I really want a picture with the fox coming towards me and the light goes from the side, then I have to know.
I think maybe I do the planning subconscious. Like I go to a place and I think, oh, I see the fox tracks and it comes that way, and it's just that I instantly think like, oh, I want to photograph it in the morning. That's my best chance, and the sun would rise over there. So if I position it, do I want backlight or do I want I don't want the side light. What light do I want? I would like backlight, but the wind is usually west, so I can't get backlight because it will get my. You know, I think like that in my head, but it's not that I sit down and make a plan.
But do you think beginners should make a plan before they get out?
I think if they're like me, they shouldn't, because then it's terrible. I think it's so hard. It's not because I don't want to answer directly. I just think people are so different, and the way our brain works is so different. And I know you plan much more than me, and you're much more structured. But if people are like me and they force themselves because they say, or Addy or Morten says, planning is really important, so I have to do it. If I have to sit down and plan, it feels like almost like going back to school, like torture. So I think if I would go so far and say, if you're the kind of person that are good at planning, you would already do it, even though we didn't say it, by instinct. By instinct, exactly. Because you feel better when it's planned.
It's in your nature to do
It's in your nature to plan. And if you're maybe a little more like me, you're like, the only thing you plan is to remember your coffee and your camera, and then you remember to charge your batteries in the evening and pack your bag because you know you don't want to get out of bed. And then you tumble out of bed at 4:15, grab your bag and go to the forest, and you have a rough idea about where you want to go, and then you see what happens. So
and you adapt on the go.
Sometimes you're forced to plan, and then you do it. But I think if people are good at planning, they will already do it, and lucky them, lucky you. Because there are, I think if I have to, I would say you're more likely to get good results if you're a kind of person that are good at planning,
Yeah.
because you will take more things into account before you go. You just have a bigger chance of
finding
predicting
something,
things,
predicting
because
things,
you're a
yeah.
good planner.
Yeah.
Like I plan the way that, but I don't call it planning. I research a
Yeah,
lot.
research, yeah.
Learn about the animal, learn about the behavior, find studies on the senses of badgers, walk a lot around, discovering things, remember where they are, connecting things, little bits and pieces. So, but that's not planning. That's more like investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to change a little bit the discussion to an area which is very, very interesting, about what impact wildlife photography has on you as a person in general. Do you think wildlife photography made you a better person in life in general, in some certain areas?
I have no idea, to be honest.
I'll give you a context. Sorry. What did you say?
No, because I don't know how I would have been if. First of all, I don't know if I'm a good person. I hope I am. But second, I do not know how I would have been if I was not a wild. So I simply can't answer.
For example, before I started wildlife photography, I really wasn't a patience person.
No.
I wanted things to happen now.
Yeah.
I was like this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I want things now.
Yeah.
Not wait for the process. I didn't understand the process.
Yeah.
And when I started wildlife photography, it was the same thing. I was having the same behavior, like going out to shoot a bird, and I was thinking like the image supposed to happen on my card. I supposed to take that image.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I was like impatient. Why? I want things to happen now, and then I was trying. I was understanding that the failures that keep happening, teach me that you really have to let things happen by themselves. Yeah,
that's the black woodpecker.
The black woodpecker, yeah. So I've learned that I need to be patient to let the process of nature do its thing.
Yeah.
So by accepting this and integrate this into myself, like, okay, I need to stay patient. I need to stay because I want that experience. I want, I might want a certain picture to take.
Yeah.
That requires patience. Exactly like we talked about patience earlier. Because I don't want to repeat that, but it taught me this.
Yeah.
Like in life, I started to become more patient with things.
I think in general, being in nature will never be bad for a person. I think spending time in nature and really see things, not just walk and talk, but not just look at the trees, but actually look at the trees, see, sense. I think that's generally a nice thing, because you become aware of. I think it's always nice and to be aware of of the whole thing here, not just go like this with your own
like
goals.
A horse,
and pay a little attention to the ants that are building their house, because you might realize that, look, they have their own little community here. Understands the bees, the birds. I feel like you gain like a respect for that, and you become, what to say, you become aware of your own insignificant, like that you become aware that everything here, everything is so big. There's so many things going on all the way, and I'm just. It's not about me.
Yeah.
This is about, like, you just feel truly humble when you're out there and you are surrounded by nature.
I feel like that too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that too. That many people, we were talking earlier about photographing lynxes and all those exotic animals in Romania back here.
Yeah.
But often people, when they start up in wildlife photography, when they hear that we're gonna photograph wild animals, everybody think that, not everybody, most of people think that we need to go in the middle of the mountains and photograph the bears, or we need to go into the Danube Delta and photograph the pelicans.
Yeah.
But from a learning perspective, as a beginner, do you think it's a good idea to go in the parks and shoot the birds there?
Yeah. I mean, just shoot where you like. I mean, you can go to the local park and practice all your things, because it's stupid to wait 3 weeks in the mountains for the bears, and when they suddenly come, you don't know where the ISO button is. So it's nice to practice there, and it's nice to be there just to see the birds, learn about the behavior. Oh, when it after doing this with the head in the water, it always rises the duck and do like so. You learn about it. And I don't think it's.
So they are good teachers.
Huh?
They are good teachers.
Yeah, and I don't think it's. I don't think it's better to be in the mountains photographing like an Arctic wolf or a snow leopard or a lynx. I don't think that's more. I don't think it's a higher level than photographing the birds in your garden, because like that'll be the same as saying like the wolf is more important like than the little bird.
Yeah.
For me, I told you yesterday that my favorite place to photograph is just around my farm. Being in the forest, it's like, for me, it's like my shire in the Lord of the Rings. My shire is going out of my door with my backpack and a camera in the early morning. The fog is still over the meadow. I go to the little forest, say hello to the oak tree, good old oak still standing there. I sit down with my coffee and wait, and I feel like the morning, the day begins. For me, that does as much to me as when I'm photographing a polar bear in Greenland or something.
That's fantastic.
Or when I'm on an expedition. It's I love nature around where I live. People should just find their shire, a place where they enjoy being, and that can be in the park, it can be at the riverbed, it can be like find their own little paradise and photograph there, and then they can go out from there to on adventures.
I mean, imagine that if you go into a park and photograph some pigeons or ducks or whatever. If you let's say you want to practice composition, you read on the internet about some course, or you see some guy talking on YouTube about composition, and then you said, okay, let me try this on some birds that are, let's say, predictable. Or some birds that are very friendly with the humans.
I mean, why not?
So why not? That's a very good opportunity for you to learn composition. Because if you manage to, to master, let's say, a composition rule, like the rule of thirds, for the sake of the example, if you manage to do that with a duck, in a pond, in a park in your town, imagine going to the wilderness in the Danube Delta and doing the same thing, because you already have that muscle memory.
Why shouldn't you? It's like obvious.
I mean, you don't have to wait, to go to Danube Delta to photograph, just to learn how to photograph the wild birds.
Just get out and enjoy nature. And that being in the park or in the forest or on one of the poles, it doesn't matter. Just go out and enjoy. Spend some time with your camera in nature. Bring a cup of coffee and maybe a little camping chair. I'm out of coffee.
I still have
this interview is really long. No, I'm good.
I told you it's gonna be long because we really have a lot of stuff to talk about. But it's getting cold around here, so we might. I don't want to rush, but we still have a couple of stuff here we want to talk. So,
holy cow! How long is that document?
This is just the first chapter. Anyway, now I want to ask you something interesting about meeting the animals. People are looking at photographers like yourself, which are very known, and they say, we see the results, we see the videos on YouTube, we see the photographs, and anyway. And we might have this illusion that you never scare the animals, that you always have success. You always put, not you, but people in general. Always put the best pictures on the internet, and people the beginners might feel a little bit intimidated, you know?
Yeah.
Because everybody at the beginning, we are all scared animals like hell.
Yeah.
We are the number one scary thing in the forest, you know? And people get a bit, confused. I mean, how does he do it?
Yeah.
And the direct question is, do you scare animals?
Yeah.
Or is perfect all the time?
I do scare them, but I really, really, really do my very best not to, because for me, if I get a photo of some red deers and they run away afterwards because I scare them, for me, I've said that many times in my videos, but the photo is destroyed. I don't get the same pure feeling when I look at the photo afterwards, because I know, I remember one time I was in the Cairngorms in Scotland to photograph mountain hares, and I was sneaking up and I got the photograph of the hare and I sneaked back. And I saw another photographer there. He also sneaked in, and the moment he got his photo, he's just got up and the hare was running, and I was like, if that was me, I wouldn't enjoy my photos.
Yeah.
But of course I scare them, because they have better senses than me. So I come walking and suddenly there's a badger or a fox or a deer running, and it's what it is, but I just do my best not to.
Yeah, I mean, you put this. I mean, you have a respect for the animal.
If I spend half an hour sneaking in to the animal, I prefer to spend half an hour getting away, because I need to put the same. Otherwise, you are really selfish. You only sneak to get your photo, and then when you get what you came from, you just don't care.
You just rise up and...
you need to be respectful, and you need to, once you have gotten your photos, sneak back out, because there's nothing better than going into that area a little like a sniper, get your photo of the beautiful behavior, sneak away, sit in a good distance with a binocular and a cup of coffee, and see that they're still grassing out there.
Yeah, that's a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, that's the best.
That's a fantastic feeling.
Yeah,
it's about the ethics.
Yeah,
being ethical.
But of course, sometimes I scare the deer. Sometimes I scare the fox. I just try not to.
Yeah, I think it's very important, to have this all the time in your mind, that you are just a visitor in their world.
You're a guest.
You're a guest in their world, and it's nice to be humble, like you said. When you see a deer, I mean, the deer knows that you're there because it has better senses, as you said. So you have to be continuously in conscience of, aware of the fact that the animals, they know you're there. So at least try to put on the first level, let's say, their safety. In terms of to don't scare them. I mean, if you manage to take the picture, that's a good bonus. But I think a part of the story, when you get a good image of a behavior, let's say, is more interesting when you know that you sneaked out, like you said, and the animal that bird is still doing its thing. And when you look at your photo and you said, I've done this photo without a single harm. The animal is, when I left, it was the same as I came. And that thing is very important for.
And you have to be a good ambassador for wildlife photography, because I never do like clapping and stuff to make the animal look. I never do that. I don't do things to make them aware.
Look at your camera. And
I remember on one of my expeditions, we had a guide that helped with a snowmobile, and we found a group of musk oxen, and I was photographing them, and he took the snowmobile to chase them.
Oh God, okay.
And then the other guide was with me, and he was like, get ready. And I took my camera just also to demonstrate, and I put it down on the seat and just looked. And he said, why don't you photograph? He make them run. And I say, I'm not here to chase these animals. I'm here to photograph them. So just to say, I don't want to be the one that scares our musk oxen and Dorofjell, where there are two photographers. One is like pushing them, and one is photographing because they want them to run in the snow with all. I would never, ever do that, because I feel that's not how you are a guest. That's not how you are being humble for animals, because you have to remember these musk oxen, when you're going home in your warm tent and eating your dinner, and you're sitting a week later in your cozy home and just eating and drinking as much as you
They're
can.
still there.
They're still out in the Arctic wilderness in the dark, minus 30 degrees Celsius, struggling through the winter.
Yeah.
And you can sit home with your laptop and a glass of wine and watch the picture of them running scared. For me, that's not
weird
wildlife
feeling.
photography. It's something else.
Yeah, it's like purely chasing
Yeah.
results. Good pictures to
Yeah.
showcase.
Yeah, that's not. Not
We
nice.
are approaching the ending of the interview. There are just a few questions left. I want to come back to the beginning of the interview when we talked about your beginnings.
Yeah.
And do you believe, so I mean, looking back at your early years, how much you think having a mentor would have helped you to get better results faster at the beginning, or at least start in photography, in wildlife photography?
I really don't know, Addy. It's always good if you want to be a carpenter and you have to figure out, like if you have to invent the wheel yourself, it will take you longer than if you have someone that can show you how it is. I don't know, for me, I had a friend that I photographed with, and he was a really good landscape photographer. And it's hard for me to know if it was the motivation or it was the teaching, because he didn't taught me anything. He just being with him was an inspiration. And we having one that I could share, we could see other images and talk, and we could go on trips together. But I would say having a person that can help you to get over the little bumps that you might have, like you say, some of your students have problem with the sharpness or the focus, or they have questions. I know you can find all the answers on the internet. You can ask ChatGPT, but there's something nice with a human contact. There's something nice with having one person that get to know you, and like you don't need a mentor to learn about ISO and shutter speed. You can ask Google or ChatGPT, but having someone
Giving
I would say it's not important in the beginning where it's only technical question, but I think it's more important when you get to the point where you there's something you want to capture this, but you can't really explain it. It's like I feel my images are boring. I would like to go in some direction, have a person that you can talk to, like that I think it must be helpful. Like I mean, if I had one, I'm sure, like I cannot see why it would not be helpful unless that mentor has its own idea about things should be like that. If the mentor is like, don't use dehancer, don't use autofocus, always use a rule of third. But it has to be a good mentor that can see beyond his own style, because my style is maybe quite minimalistic. I have animals that are in this side of the frame, looking out of the frame, breaking all rules. But for me, it's good. So if you have a mentor that can set his own opinion a little aside, and then I think it's really good. If you have one that's like a German teacher in school, just say like,
you like
Ordnung, then it might at some point hold you back. You know what I mean? So
I think a mentor should be like the guy that tries to help you bypass some common mistakes that might keep you on a circle. Because when you are by yourself, you do mistakes and you don't know that you're doing them. And because you don't know that you're doing those mistakes, you don't know you don't know what to fix.
Exactly.
You know? So I think this is the place of the mentor in someone's.
And I mean, if you obviously, I don't think I would choose a mentor myself at that time, because I've always been very solo. But it's the same as we talked a little about before, like when you, like being, if you're a planner or not a planner, I think if you reach out to get a mentor, it's because it's good for you to have a mentor. It's because you need a mentor. If you don't need if a mentor is not good for you, you'll probably not think you need a, you know what I mean? And some people that don't think would actually benefit from a mentor, and so on and so forth. So it's, I feel if you look at someone and you think, I really, really, really like his style, not because of his name or reputation or success, just because when I look at this person's images, I really feel something when I look at them, then that'll be a good mentor. It has to be.
Do you think being a part of, you said earlier that you got in a community, a photograph community. Do you think being a part of a community helps you a lot to develop your photography?
Any day. Just because you will experience, probably if you're a new photographer, that you're like, I have some people writing to me saying like, my YouTube video helped, they have been interested in photography, but they kind of lost the passion because what was the purpose? And now they watch my videos and they re-find their purpose. So I think when you're a beginner, once you get over the autofocus and you can make sharp images of birds in flight, then it's like, oh, but was that it? That was the whole thing I've been struggling with, and now I can do it. Well done. Then sometimes it's nice with the community because you always, and for me, Instagram is not a community. It's like a wall, digital wall with a lot of names, and maybe you can get a community there. I don't know, but meeting people in real life, photo gatherings, photo festivals, getting out, shoot with someone. That for me is awesome because you always get another opinion. You always get a chat about this and that,
and you can have actually a feedback on your images because there is in a community there's always someone that has a little bit more experience than you. So it's nice to have a chat with them and say, okay, what's your opinion about this picture? Is it good? Is it bad? It's not about being good, bad. Just
But you can develop yourself. You can develop your style because once you manage to get that bird in flight, super sharp, super crisp, everything, colors perfect, exposure's perfect. If you're just by yourself, you might stop there. But if you are, it could also be inspiration from the internet. It could be from books. It could be from movies. It could be from music. Like there has to be something. There has to be like there has to come some inspiration. Some of the inspiration come from inside. But some inspiration come from watching other photographers' works.
I like this so much. For example, I like very much to look over other photographers' pictures, just to look, and I have a couple of albums home, even the Wild Romania album, and I'm looking over the pictures from time to time, like once a week, something like that, like a routine, like a weekly routine, just to look at them, like train my brain with other, other point of views on the subject. You see, because
that's inspiration.
For inspiration, like train your visual brain. You have, because for example, if you never knew how to photograph a duck when she's standing on her tail and do like that, you have no idea how to compose that. But if you watch some pictures on the internet of people doing that same shot, your mind has a memory, a reference. Like you know how that picture should look like. So it's a good starting point rather than just do not look at any pictures like I don't know, start from scratch everything. It's not good to reinvent the hot water, how we say, or the wheel or something.
Now I don't look so much on, like I basically never look on Instagram for photos. I, in the beginning, not in the beginning, but maybe when I photographed for like 8 years or something, I looked a lot in books And I every time there was a photo that was like this to me, I wrote the page down, and then I continued and wrote the page down, and then in the end I looked at all the photos that I've written down. What is that? Why does this affect me emotional? And then oh yeah.
The woodpecker.
Always, like we sit here with the cameras.
With the cameras.
No, but then that was really helpful for me, that technique, because I that was how I developed my own style in a way, by all the photos that would touch me. I found a pattern.
Yeah.
And now these days I think most of my inspiration comes from listening to music. Like I listen to a lot of like classical music, film music, like the music from Lord of the Rings, the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because when I sit at home or I lie down on my terrace or in my hammock and I listen to that music, I get in a mood, and I get not a final picture, but I just get some like it can be sentimental, or it can be like full of like emotions and moods.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I'm out there, I want to
put that.
Or movies, when you watch some movies with something really nice, beautiful. Let's just take an example again, The Lord of the Rings, or it can be a documentary. And you see something with you see a tree, and on the tree you see only the shadow of a bird, but you don't see the bird. That it's like it's just sitting here, and then I have that with me, like there was something. My hair, when I see just the shadow, it was so mystery, and so I think people can find inspiration everywhere, but a good starting point is joining the communities. Also because otherwise one day you'll find yourself very old and lonely with your camera, only have your Instagram account. For God's sake, it's nice to meet people. Nice to talk to people, like we're sitting here having coffee. We have been out photographing today. It's just nice. It's not something I do so often, but I truly enjoy it. We are social creatures after all.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think the last question, because it's getting dark around. We can sit here as long as the battery on the camera is running.
Yeah.
Because we're out of coffee, so at least we're not out of battery. I hope that thing is still recording.
We need to find something nice before we get to the city. So refill.
Oh yeah.
Something.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We will. In your opinion, Morten, what is the real purpose of wildlife photography? Is it the ultimate? I mean, it's ultimately about getting the images, or it's about the personal transformation of a human being? This is a deeper question.
Yeah.
I think it's really about just taking the pictures, about the result, the final result, or it's about enjoying the journey of becoming a wildlife photographer. Getting better.
Life is relatively short, and I mean, if you love playing the piano, or you love hiking, just do something you love and don't think so much about the purpose. I mean, for me, I don't know what I would do. I love fishing. I love going on doing a little bit of bushcraft. I love having my camera with me, because there's something nice about being in nature with maybe it's a human thing with a purpose. I rarely go out, just sit like so in nature. I always like bring a fishing rod or the camera or make a fire and sleep there and look for things with my binos. So I think it's just about having a good time and feel happy. And then if it's the image or if it's the experience, I guess it's a mixture, it's a soup of all these things. Like sometimes you get the goosebumps, sometimes you get a little disappointed, sometimes you're frustrated about the camera, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you get the photograph, sometimes you don't. But all these things boiled together in a soup, it's just a soup of happiness and feeling nice.
That's a very good idea. Soup of happiness.
Yeah.
It's about that. Look, I'm looking right now, and you guys don't see the colors over there because that's kind of bluish. But in front of us over there, it's like the last rays of the sunset, and it's
Yeah.
kind of orange, and it's very nice. We should
Yeah.
have pointed the camera that way.
Yeah, we should. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and I mean, we're just sitting here. There's nobody else around here. It's just total silence in the middle of nowhere in the nature. And okay, today we've been. I don't know. We took a picture of a woodpecker, which was way high up in the tree.
Little dot on the screen.
Yeah, a little pixel on the screen.
Yeah.
That was a woodpecker, but we're happy because we saw it, we heard it.
Yeah.
We saw some deers, but we didn't took a picture of it, and it was about the experience.
Yeah.
You know, just going out
Yeah, it's nice.
and enjoy the nature, and by practicing you develop yourself, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice way to end the interview, Morten. Thank you very much again for being here and resisting in the cold, because even if it's spring, it's still cold around here because we're in a mountain area.
Yeah.
So imagine, at least we had warm coffee earlier. Now
Now everything is cold.
now everything is cold, yeah. So thank you very much for being around
You're
here
so
in
welcome,
Romania.
and thanks for having me.
And I hope to see you soon around here, and have take the cameras and go out and shoot it again with
Probably will.
cameras
At some time.
at some time. Yeah. So it was nice to be here with you. Now I'm gonna switch to Romanian just for one.
Yeah, then you can say whatever you want, because I
You
don't
can
understand. Only mulțumesc.
Yeah. Dragilor, acesta a fost interviul cu Morten din seara asta. Mulțumesc tare mult că ați rezistat până acum. Sper că v-a plăcut discuția noastră și sper că v-a inspirat să ieșiți în natură la fotografiat cu camera. Așa cum a spus și Morten, nu ai nevoie de echipamente ultra scumpe, ci de curaj și de pasiune și de curiozitate. E frumos să fii curios și să ieși în natură cu camera și să te bucuri de acest hobby absolut fantastic, care nu are cum să-ți aducă decât satisfacții, mai ales când și reușești să prinzi o pasăre sau orice alt animal pe cardul tău. Dacă ai nevoie de o comunitate foarte faină de oameni care să te susțină și dacă vrei să faci primii pași în fotografia de wildlife, poate că, cum am spus mai devreme, poate nu înțelegi partea asta de, cum spuneam mai devreme, asta de struggle, știi, asta de cu setările, cu compoziția, și vrei să accelerezi un pic procesul ăsta și să ajungi într-un punct în care să spui ok, am reușit să ajung la imagini sharp, am reușit să mă apropii mai ușor de animalele respective, acum pot să investesc în mine și să-mi fac propriul meu stil. Dacă vrei să te ajut cu chestia asta, poți să-mi dai un mail pe contact@adidedu.ro sau poți să dai un click pe linkul de sub acest video, unde poți să te înscrii la o discuție gratuită împreună cu mine, unde să povestim mai multe despre chestia asta, să vedem dacă într-adevăr pot să te ajut într-un program de mentorat personalizat pentru tine. Dacă ești interesat, dă click pe linkul de sub acest video. Până atunci, îți mulțumesc tare mult pentru că ai fost alături de noi în seara asta la această discuție. Morten, thank you one more time.
You're welcome.
And see you out there.
See you out there.
See you out there, how we say. Bye.
Bye.